Talk. My name is Pamela Ballard. I'm Executive Director for United Way of Enid in Northwest Oklahoma. And it's my pleasure to have with me my Executive Assistant, Carolina Seymour. And she has the distinction of being one of Enid's newest citizens. And so today we're going to talk about that process and how United Way has become involved with that. And it was really our pleasure and our honor to do that. But it was really a learning experience for all of us involved. And hopefully we'll give some resources to people who may be looking to do that, wanting to do that, and to also some of the businesses who may want to help their employees go through that as well. So Carolina, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for
I know
having
you've
me
been,
here.
you are such an asset to United Way, and I know everyone who calls our office or talks to you, they talk about how wonderful you are to work with, which is true.
Thank you.
But a little bit about the process. You tell us about how long you've been in the United States.
Well, I moved here in 2006, actually, and we've been moving like a couple of times because my husband he was in the military. He's retired from the Navy. So we've been 10 years. Well, I've been here 10 years, and every time that I wanted to apply, we were just like getting orders to move somewhere else. So that's why I decided to wait until we settle somewhere and get ready to apply for my citizenship. So that's how long I've been here.
And so your home country is?
Nicaragua.
Mm-hmm. So you came here, you've been here 10 years, and did you already know the language? Did you already know English?
No, that's a foreign story because when I moved here, first I came on vacations, okay? So that's how I met my husband. And it was fun in the beginning because we pretty much had to communicate like texting on the cell phone because I didn't know English well, actually, I'm still learning, but...
you do a great job. I mean, because you do all of our correspondence in the office for United, which is a great amount of correspondence, and you handle our financials very well because you have a background in banking, even in your own country. So
it's, I mean, it was a challenge because it's a new language, and I had to pretty much start from zero. And the way I did it, it was like watching TV with the captions on, and it was hard, but I think with time and patience, you can do it, and that's how I did it.
So you thought about pursuing citizenship, but you just didn't do it because you really weren't settled in any one place long enough until you came to Enid.
Yes.
So when you came to Enid, did you know about the citizenship classes?
No, I wasn't familiar at all until you mentioned something.
So you hadn't looked at them until then?
Yes. So, I didn't even know that they offer like classes to learn about the civics and the story, American story. So it was just until you said something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then the story, we were talking about it, and I think I had asked you about becoming an American citizen, and I saw in the paper where Mona Lowen, she is a volunteer through Emmanuel Baptist Church, and they do offer citizenship classes. And for anyone interested, and we'll talk more about that in just a moment, but the next session is going to start January the 11th at Emmanuel Baptist Church, which is on West Garriott. And those classes are free of charge. It didn't cost you anything for the classes.
Yeah. No. Mm-hmm.
And those are 6:30 to 8:30, 10 classes. It goes for 10 weeks. And so you did sign up.
Yeah,
took a little coaxing, I think.
It was really nice. Because, and I do appreciate all the help from Emmanuel Baptist Church and Miss Mona and all the volunteers, because it's people that works, and after hours they go and volunteer and teach us, all the questions that we're supposed to answer at the test. So they take time. It's not just like they ask you the question and you have to repeat. No, they go beyond that. They teach you the history. They teach you like how to pronunciate words that you're not familiar with, how to shake hands, and how to even get into the office when they ask you to raise your hands, and everything. I mean, they pretty much wrap up the whole thing.
I remember too, you were telling me that they would actually prepare snacks for
Oh yeah,
for you and provide
snacks, coffee,
childcare.
childcare. I mean, so you don't have to pay anything. You don't have to worry about your kids, like leaving them at home. You can bring them with you, leaving them at the daycare, and you can go and take your classes.
I think what else I found out that I was really impressed with Mona Lowen, who teaches this. She also teaches a class at one of the Catholic churches here for another group of ladies, and they're also, I think, learning English because she teaches English as a second language. Those classes are also available every Tuesday evening. You can go from 6:30 to 8:30. There's not a beginning or ending. You can just drop in on any Tuesday evening. There's no sign up. But she was using her own personal computer for these classes.
Yeah.
And so United Way became involved and through a grant purchased her a computer just for those classes. And because we were so impressed with what she was doing to help people. For those of you who may not be familiar with United Way, we have three focus areas: education, health, and then financial stability for families. And we really feel that for people who really are pursuing citizenship and want to make a difference, that this is really critical, earning or going through the naturalization process. Of course, you're already paying taxes as a United Way employee, but it really does help people, I think, go farther when they become an American citizen.
Yeah,
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's like I mentioned before, it's not just like changing citizenship. It's not just like using a different passport. It's like going beyond that. It's like helping contribute, to do better things in your community. The way, I mean, maybe it's not like big, but starting from a little bit, you can like make a huge difference. So yeah, I totally agree with you. Mm-hmm.
So once you got involved in the citizenship classes, you started going through those, and you had a friend who went with you to kind of encourage you sometimes when you didn't feel like going after work, because it's quite a commitment. You work all day and then go to the classes. Mm-hmm. You had someone go with you. And you go through that process, study, because I would see you, there are 100 questions, is that right?
Yes.
Which I think a lot of Americans, natural-born citizens, probably can pass.
They're hard.
The test.
They're hard. I mean, they're hard. I even was playing with my neighbor and my husband, and I kept asking them questions. I was like, you guys need to go and get your citizenship first questions and go back. Yeah, I mean, they're hard, but it's really nice to, if you're moving to a different country and you are you decided to become a citizen, I think it's our duty to learn the history, the civics, everything that's involved with your new country. So, yeah.
So in this process, then, there's a form that you fill out, of course, and you submit, which you did. And we did this together, actually. And I think it's important to know, a lot of people think that you have to get an attorney to go through this process. And we did not do that.
No.
We did this on our own. For anyone listening, they're doing this, before you pay thousands of dollars to get an attorney, really seek the help of someone who you trust to go through this process and save yourself a lot of money. Catholic Charities, which is a United Way agency, you can either call our office first or go through them, and perhaps you can receive help through them. But don't spend thousands of dollars to do that, because we've heard from several people, and they did that and it didn't help them at all.
Well, actually, when I moved here and we had to go through the process to get my residence, we paid like $3,000 between the fees and the lawyers. And then my husband and I, we reviewed the application and we were like, we could have done this ourselves. And that's exactly what we did. I just kind of asked your help for a couple of questions that were kind of a little confusing. But other than that, I think, if you can have the advice from somebody else that's, willing to kind of walk you through the application and make sure that you get everything right. I think you can do it yourself.
Well, the process, especially with you, there are definitely some hurdles to go through, because once you got the application, you go to Oklahoma City. If it's approved, you get fingerprinted. Then you wait for them to say that you can have your interview, which is basically your oral test. Pass that, and of course that was delayed. Paperwork got misplaced, and we involved Senator Patrick Anderson and Congressman Lucas, which that was a great help to us, or help to you. And then, of course, the swearing-in ceremony, which was very
emotional,
yeah, but well worth it.
It was. I mean, the process, it was a little bit, it was long. It was not expected to be a year. It was supposed to be 5 months, but well, the word that I got at the office, Oklahoma City office, it was there were just some delays not related to my case, but it just kept like going, and the waited, it was like so long that's when we decided to get Senator Patrick Anderson involved, and it was a great help because like right after we emailed him, we heard back from them, and I got my interview. So I mean, it's a long journey, but it's worth it. At the end of the day, it's so worth it.
Well, I can't say enough about what Mona Lowen does at Emmanuel Baptist Church, and all the volunteers there who do that. So they're starting another class January the 11th at 6:30. It's a 10-week course. So really, I know you would encourage anyone who's thinking about doing this to pursue it. I would certainly encourage any employer, if you have employees who are willing to dedicate the time to take the test and persevere through this, to help them, to sponsor them. The fee is around $700 to apply. It's well worth it to help your employee through this, because as Mona said, she had about 15 students who completed the 10-week course, but only 3 or 4 have actually went through it to gain citizenship. And the biggest hurdles are the application process and the fee. So any way that any of us can help others through that, I think it's well worth it. But if you need more information, I think the number for Emmanuel may be on the screen, but if not, it's 237-0602. The English as Second Language classes are every Tuesday evening from 6:30 to 8:30. As I said, you don't need to sign up. You can just show up, and childcare is available. But Carolina, I really applaud all your efforts and your perseverance through the whole process. You're already a great asset
to for your help as well.
No, you're a great asset to United Way. And
United Way, I mean, the support of the United Way board, it was amazing. So I really appreciate all the help that I got.
Well, thank you for speaking on the subject to everyone. And I think those who are looking for support or encouragement, I think they certainly have it and know that they can call on you for help.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm more than willing to help whoever.
United Way office is 237-0821. So call if we can be of any assistance to you. And thank you again for joining us on Community Talk.
My name is Don Eck. I'm the commander of the Northwest Oklahoma DAV Chapter 66 here in Enid. And I come to you with some information tonight. A lot of people don't know what the DAV does. And our core mission is the DAV Northwest Oklahoma Chapter 66 is dedicated to a single purpose: empowering veterans to lead high-quality lives with respect and dignity. We accomplish this by ensuring that veterans and their families can access a full range of benefits available to them. Fighting for the interests of American injured heroes on Capitol Hill and educating the public about the great sacrifices and needs of veterans transitioning back to civilian life. That says a lot. That's a big mission. The chapter, Northwest chapter, a lot of people ask, what do you actually really do? Well, I've got some numbers from last fiscal year, 2014 to 2015, which is from July 2014 to July or June 2015. The Oklahoma chapters 66 had approximately 486 members on our roster at that time. The chapter itself volunteered 8,000 hours. That's volunteer. Nobody gets paid for it, just all volunteer. They drove over 12,000 miles and filed over 430 claims for disparate compensation claims for veterans and their families. We have a transportation network. The DAV has the only transportation network ran by veterans. It's through the VA. The Oklahoma Chapter 66, lucky enough to have 2 vehicles. We run one here in town locally that also makes trips to Stillwater and occasionally to Blackwell if needed. We have one that runs almost every day to Oklahoma City. And in the fiscal year of 2014 to 2015, the Oklahoma City van drove approximately 1,300 veterans to their medical appointments. The city van that runs locally, it ran about 350 veterans to their appointments. Now, you keep that in mind, if a lot of these veterans, if they didn't have a transportation network, they wouldn't be able to get to their appointments. So my hat's off to all of our drivers. We have 4, and they drove over 90,000 miles last year. The DAV was lucky enough to receive donations, private donations, so that we were able to purchase a new 12-passenger van that we should be getting sometime in 2016, beginning of the year. That will replace our old van. It's got almost 300,000 miles on it. And we'll rotate what we have as a Ford Flex that's going towards the city every day. We'll rotate that into town because of the fact that it's a little harder for veterans to get in and out of, and the city van doesn't transport more than 1 or 2 veterans at a time. So it'll be easier for that van to be operating in town and take the large van for the city. The chapter was lucky enough in fiscal year 2014 to 2015 to start a program that past commander, Jim Stark, had always wanted to start, and that was a college education fund. The chapter was awarded a grant from a private organization, and we were able to award for the first time in the fiscal year 2014 to 2015 approximately $5,500 in grants. That was 4 separate grants to 4 separate students. We hope to double that this year as we go into our second year of scholarships. The chapter received approximately $34,000 in donations last year. And with the expenditure of the van, which is normally we only do every 2 to 3 years, we ended up spending around $35,000. So we were a little over budget, but compared to the VA, we're doing pretty good. The chapter also has what we call a Veterans Outreach Program that we financially try to help out veterans with a small amount that they can receive once a year. We call them individual grants. We awarded over $1,000 worth of those grants to area veterans. I would like to personally thank the hard work and participation of our chapter members that were involved. Unfortunately, when you have a large amount of over 400 members, you only have approximately about 10 people that you actually can really count on. And I really appreciate being able to call them up about any time and ask them to come help. The Northwest Oklahoma Chapter 66 is one of the largest area-wise chapters in Oklahoma. We run from approximately Highway 77, which is east of Stillwater, all the way out to the Texas line. Our borderline south is usually around I-40, and our borderline north is Kansas. So we have quite a large area. With that in mind, we've decided we were going to start a new program at the beginning of 2016. This will include an outreach program. This outreach program is to be used in the rural areas. We, in the past, have received donations by fundraisers, stuff like that. We were trying to walk away from that a little bit more and go back to our core values, where we're just out to help the veterans and their families. A lot of times now you'll see us, and we won't be trying to get you to donate. What we're going to try to do is get you to get the information out to the veterans. You know, the one important thing is that 22 veterans a day would commit suicide, and we lose them 22 a day. And one is too many. I personally have been to several of the funerals, and it's a very sad sight to think that this country has let down their veterans. So it is our mission at the DAV to make sure that this doesn't happen and that we do get the word out. We don't spend a lot of money on advertisement. We don't do any of that. We go by word of mouth. We go out there, we do the job, we do it right. We help the veterans, we help their families. The statewide is the forefront of the nation, our state. We are now lucky enough to have a program that it actually saves a veteran 10 days to 3 weeks in reference to your claim. The DAV, Oklahoma DAV, was able to come up with a database that was actually more secure than the VA that allows us, instead of mailing your claims in, we're electronically scanning them directly to our offices in Muskogee, which then they directly take them over to the VA. This enables the veteran to receive immediate help. By what I mean by immediate help is that at that time, after we scan it, then your claim would normally sit on somebody's desk for 3 or 4 days at the VA in Muskogee, and then it would be transferred to Dallas area, where it would be electronically put on to the computer. Once it's done that, it would be transferred back up to Muskogee. In approximately 3 weeks, they would start on your claim. With the process we have now, it almost within a week, they are able to start on your claim and able to help out with the veterans and the families, which speeds up the process. Right now, the process is very slow. As many of you are aware of, I've had veterans out there, still have veterans that 3 or 4 years are waiting. The biggest problem right now is the original claims that you file. It takes approximately anywhere from 6 months to 1.5 years before they'll make a decision. It's just their backlog. Now the problem runs in when they do make a decision and you don't agree with it. We call that, and we file an NOD, which is Notice of Disagreement. Once we file that, then that goes back to the VA stating why you don't agree with this and why you think they found a wrong decision on your claim. Once that happens, then they have to it goes into a review board. They call it a DOR. It was a Direct Officer Review Officer, or DRO, excuse me. It's not DOR, it's DRO. And this officer has the option of making your decision for you, or you can go into a panel. We recommend that you go to DRO due to the fact that there's DRO at every VA office. The board actually rotates. So it's every 3 months they hold what we call the appeals process, court, and they make a decision then. So that takes a lot longer. And a lot of you that have already filed are in that process, and that's taken a while. That's taken about, again, another year to 2 years before we can get a decision. The DAV in the state is also in the forefront in reference to having a 5K run in Tulsa next year. And after the new year, we'll be advertising that more and more. And if you're interested in that, participate in that, I'll be in the Tulsa area in November of next year. It's a very exciting thing. Only a few cities are sponsoring the DAV's 5K run, which also involves the motorcycles that will start out the 5K. They will have bicycles, and we'll have people running, walking, all kinds of activities. So it'll be a real exciting and new thing for Enid or for Tulsa area and Oklahoma. As we wind down this 2015, we have, as we always do, a Christmas party for the DAV. The chapter this year actually got it sponsored, so it won't cost the chapter or the members anything. And I'd like to take the time, if I can, for a moment, to thank these sponsors. AM Ambucks helped us out, the Rick's Pharmacy, Merrifield's Office Plus, and several private donors, and Karachi's chiropractor. Now, I know I said that wrong, and that donor will probably eat me alive for doing that, but I will spell it for you, so if I get it wrong, maybe you'll get it wrong when you try to say it. It's KAMPSCHROEDER, chiropractor, and they helped us out tremendously. The upgrades we're wanting to do on the trailer for our outreach program includes several items, and we will be introducing them after the first of the year. The Christmas party that will be held at Function Junction Monday night, and it's going to be from 6 o'clock to approximately 9 o'clock. We have it catered, and we're also going to have a special guest, Santa Claus, for the kids. This is open to all veterans. You don't have to be a member of the chapter or anything else. We want you to bring all the veterans. We want you to bring your families. We want you to bring your kids. We want the DAV, this chapter, wants to get you to know us, and we want to know you. So give us the opportunity to come up and have a good time. We're going to have colors. There's going to be a guest speaker. And this guest speaker was a Vietnam chopper pilot. And he served as call numbers were BAT 21. He served in the Army and flew in northern Vietnam towards the end. Very exciting speaker. So we'd like to have you, and we appreciate the time that you've taken to watch this program. And again, if you know a veteran or you know a family of a veteran that needs help, please contact us. And we can be contacted at 580-242-3808. Or you can come by, and we're located at the old Santa Fe Depot, located at 202 West Walnut, here in Enid, Oklahoma. I thank you.